No philosophers challenge how we live as directly as Friedrich Nietzsche. He didn't care about comfort, he cared about truth, especially the uncomfortable kind. Again and again, he returned to one idea: become who you are. It sounds simple, but it isn't. Nietzsche wasn't talking about self-improvement, not about adding more skills, more success, more approval. If anything, he meant the opposite: less. To become who you are is to remove what isn't yours. The beliefs you never questioned, the roles you learned to play, the expectations you absorbed so deeply they feel like your own. Most people never become themselves. They adapt. They conform. They build lives around values they didn't choose. Not because they're weak, but because the need to belong is quiet, constant, and powerful. Over time, it shapes everything. You learn what gets rewarded, what gets rejected. And slowly, without noticing, you organize your life around it. From the outside, it looks fine, stable, respectable, successful. But something feels off, not wrong, just not yours. And once you see that, it's hard to unsee. This video explores what happens, why we slowly drift away from ourselves, and how to begin finding our way back. Not through dramatic change, but through awareness, honesty, and small, deliberate shifts. There's a small moment that shapes your life, right before you speak or act. There's a pause, barely noticeable, and in that pause, a question. How will this be received? Will this make me look competent? Will this create tension? Will this cost me approval? It happens fast. So fast you don't notice it. But it's always there, guiding you. Over time, something changes. Your own desires fade. Expectations take over. And eventually a question appears: how much of your life is actually yours? Not filtered, not adjusted, just yours. And how much is authentic? Shaped by years of conditioning. At some point, the lines blur between who you are and who you perform as. You learn at an early age to adapt. One version for work, one for friends, one for family. Each one slightly different. It seems harmless, even necessary. But over time, it adds up. and a gap forms between you and the version of you the world sees. Most of the time you don't notice, but in quiet moments you do. Late at night, on a long commute, in silence, a question appears. Is this really it? Your life might be fine, even good, but something feels misaligned, like you're maintaining your life instead of living it. And the exhaustion that follows is misunderstood. It's not just doing too much, it's being someone you're not. Holding back, filtering yourself, saying yes when you mean no. The fatigue isn't from life, it's from pretending. And the hardest part? No one told you to do this. It just happened. Through approval, through rejection, through learning what works, belonging is natural, but it comes at a cost. When your attention is always outward, your inner voice fades, and in a world full of noise, you rarely hear it. But when things go quiet, even briefly, you start to see the patterns, the compromises, the disconnect. It's uncomfortable, but it's clear. At some point, you realize this life wasn't fully chosen. You did what makes sense, what was expected. You built something reasonable, but something is missing. This isn't failure, it's clarity. And with it, a choice. Ignore it or face it. If you stay with it, you start to see more. Where you've been pretending, where you've been settling, and something begins to shift. You realize you have a choice, more than you thought. And that's unsettling, because now, staying the same is a conscious decision. Not just circumstance. Change doesn't come all at once. It starts small, saying no, questioning habits, noticing when you perform, and stopping, even briefly. But people notice, and not always kindly. You seem different, less predictable, harder to understand, harder to read. And that creates tension. So you hesitate, because now there's a cost. There's less approval, there's more friction, and the question becomes, is it worth it? Only you can answer that. Do you want approval or alignment? Choosing yourself isn't easy, but it is clear. You stop deciding based on reactions and start deciding from within. You still care about others, but they don't define you. Slowly, things change. You stop staying where things feel wrong. You notice misalignment faster and act on it. Sometimes small, sometimes not. Yes, there are losses, relationships shift, routines break, but something grows. Clarity, consistency, self-trust, And self-trust isn't perfection. It's ownership. Your choices are yours. You rely less on permission, less on reassurance, more on something quiet, something stable. Your relationships change too. You start asking, does this actually matter to me? Or am I just used to it? Even your sense of solitude changes. It stops feeling empty and starts feeling useful. Like space, to think, to hear yourself again. Without that space, you can't tell what's yours. Life becomes intentional, not perfect, but real. You ask better questions, make clearer choices, and most importantly, you stop waiting. No more perfect timing, no more signals. You begin now. Even if it's messy, there's still doubt, still uncertainty, but now you're aware. You are choosing. And that leads to one question. If no one was watching, would you live the same way? If not, what would you change? Your work, your habits, your direction? Seeing the gap changes everything. You can ignore it or close it slowly. Staying the same has a cost. It builds frustration, disconnection, regret. The alternative isn't dramatic, it's subtle. Acting instead of reacting, being instead of performing, engaging instead of avoiding. And in the end, this isn't about becoming someone new. It's about removing what's not real. What remains won't be perfect, but it will be honest, and that matters more. Because once you see you can't go back, awareness creates pressure, a pull toward alignment, toward truth. And if you know it, even imperfectly, you begin to change, not by force, but by letting go. For Friedrich Nietzsche, reinvention isn't becoming someone else. It's becoming who you already are. Beneath everything else, it means questioning what you've inherited, letting go of what isn't true, taking responsibility. It's not comfortable. It's a process of breaking, rebuilding and repeating, again and again. There is no final version of you, only becoming, layer by layer. Something more real emerges. Not perfect, but yours. And maybe that's where this really begins. Not with a perfect plan, not with complete clarity, but with a question. What in your life doesn't feel like yours? Not what looks wrong from the outside, but what feels misaligned on the inside. If you're honest about that, even just a little, you're already moving in a different direction. So I am curious, what one thing you've been doing that doesn't feel fully like you anymore? You can share it in the comments below. I read all of them, and it helps to see how others are thinking about this too. If you found this helpful, you can leave a like. It helps more people find the video. And if you want more content like this, you can subscribe. But either way, take a moment. Sit with the question. because sometimes a small amount of honesty can change more than you expect.